There is a 100-year-old woman in the village, live longer than the village chief, older than the old locust tree in the village. Everyone calls her skinny, but no one dares to talk about her behind her back too much. When I was a child, I heard my grandmother say, this thin woman was very handsome when she was young, after marrying into the village. But 3 husbands died in a row. I'm not even pregnant with a baby in my belly. Then she lived alone for decades. See her eat, well, every year. I'm in good spirits, but I can't see a few grains of rice in the house. Grandma whispered. There was a hint of fear in his eyes. I don't understand. How powerful can an old lady be? Until that year, the village began to lose children. Is it a wolf or a wild boar running down the mountain? The village lost 3 children in a row. The youngest is 4 years old. The oldest is only 7 years old. It's like they just disappeared. Not a trace was left. The village chief led people into the mountain, looking for half a month. I didn't see a hair. That night, I heard whispers of crying coming from my grandmother's room. She couldn't stop talking about whether it should come or come. I lay quietly at the door. It didn't really sound good. But there's one thing I can hear clearly. Grandma said that Mrs. Show wants to live to be 100 years old. She has to eat children to survive. Mrs. Show's house is at the end of the village, near the back mountain, and there was grass. No one wants to approach. Once up the mountain to chop firewood, I passed by her door. From a distance, I saw her sitting in the yard basking in the sun, chicken leg in hand. Nibbling is happy. The wrinkles at the corners of her eyes are deep enough to hold a mosquito, but those eyes are as bright as a cat's. She saw me. He grinned at me, baring yellow teeth. I dare not watch more. Just run away. When I got home, Grandma slapped me hard. Let me swear. Don't go near the skinny woman's house again. That's a man-eating monster. Who is she targeting? Whoever has to die. When Grandma said that, the corners of my mouth are shaking. The 4th child lost in the village. The son is Aria's younger brother. He was only 5 years old the day before he disappeared. They also saw him playing in the mud in front of the skinny mother's house. It disappeared the next day. The village chief took someone to Mrs. Show's house for questioning. He just said faintly that people are getting old. I didn't hear anything behind my ears. A group of people left. He is sitting on the threshold, nibbling on melon seeds. Watch them go away. That night, I saw Mrs. Show standing at the entrance of the village with my own eyes through the window, carrying a sack. Slowly went to the back mountain. Something is moving in the sack. Told Grandma. Grandma told me to shut up. She has lived to this day. Not ordinary people. Grandma's face is terrifyingly white. Mind yourself. Don't worry, but I still followed secretly. The back of the thin woman in the moonlight swayed in the woods. He walks lightly. Every time you step on the ground, you can hear the creaking sound, like stepping on some bone. He was carrying the sack. Walk under a dead tree. Pour the sack on the ground. I saw Aria's brother roll out of the sack, covered in blood, staring at the sky with dull eyes. He's still alive, but the air is like a hairspring. The skinny woman took out a rusty bowl, slashed him in the neck. The blood slowly flowed into the bowl. He took a sip, licking the corners of his mouth and laughing. The next day, the whole village knew. The news that Aria's younger brother died in the back mountain. It was bitten by a beast. The village chief sighed. The head is gone. But I do. That head was boiled by the skinny woman. The skinny woman's birthday is here. She is 100 years old, and the village is as lively as ever. She was sitting in front of the house, looking at everyone with a smile. Eyes flashed across every child. It's like choosing your next meal. The pork sent to her by the village. She didn't even touch it. She only loves the meat of children. That afternoon, the sun sets early. The village is shrouded in a mist. The chickens and ducks all return to the nest early. The village chief brought someone to bring a birthday gift to Mrs. Show. Pork leg egg longevity noodles won. Many Show women smiled from ear to ear. Bend over and take the Show noodle. Hands are like dry branches. Coiled veins. He glanced at the pig legs. Skim aside coldly. His eyes narrowed into slits, staring at the children who came with the village chief. A strange light flashed in his eyes. You guys are so kind. The skinny woman laughed even deeper. Those yellow-toothed lips trembled, like a starving owl. The children are being dragged behind by their parents. Don't dare to approach him. His eyes swept over the faces of the children. Until you saw me. That girl came over and let me see. And I looked up, facing the thin woman's eyes. Those eyes are like a cat catching a mouse, with a hint of teasing and greed. I took a step back, but Grandma quietly pushed me behind. Go, skinny woman, be happy. Our family can also get some luck. My heart skipped a beat. The legs are like lead. Walk slowly towards the skinny woman. Her shriveled hands reached out, touched my face. Fingernails scratched my chin, as cold as a knife. What a handsome doll. Grow sturdy. And he murmured something. The corners of his mouth curled in a creepy arc. That night, Grandma cooked a pot of longevity noodles, burned incense, and served it in the main room. But he looked pale. Not a word. I ate a few mouthfuls of noodles, but there is no taste in my mouth. I always feel like there are eyes staring at me from behind. I got up and walked to the door. It's pitch black outside. But there is a light on at the entrance of the village. The thin woman stands alone at the entrance of the village under the light. The shadow is drawn very long. She stood motionless, looking towards the village. It's like counting. At that moment, I felt like he was ordering food. The next few days, the village is eerily quiet. But the feeling of unease is getting heavier and heavier. Every time after dark, I feel like someone is looking out the window. Sometimes there are messy footprints on the ground. Grandma told me to go to bed early. Don't go out. And I couldn't sleep. Once I heard rustling in the yard. Quietly open the curtains and look out. A pair of sparkling eyes are looking straight at me. It's a skinny woman. She's standing in my yard. Keep your head down and smile at me. He seems to be chewing something in his mouth. Creak. It sounded like bones breaking. The next morning, I pretended like nothing happened. When pushing the door out, there are a few bloodstains in the yard. Grandma is standing at the door, stared at the blood for a long time. Pale face. The broom in my hand doesn't move. Yaume last night. I asked tentatively. He was silent for a long time, like I didn't hear. After a long time, he whispered, don't go out today. Just stay in the house. Do you hear me nod? My heart is churning with unease. Everyone in the village knows that Sho Pa is 100 years old. The village is not safe. But no one dared to say anything. No one dares to do anything. That afternoon, news from the village. Arya's brother Dopey is missing. It was fine last night. I went to the chicken coop to feed the chickens this morning and never came back. Arya Nyong was crying so hard, kneeling at the entrance of the village, begging the village chief to bring someone into the mountain to find it. But the village chief just sighed. What are you looking for in the mountains? No one is necessarily in the mountains. His gaze. He took a meaningful look at the Thin-in-law's house. You all know that. But no one dared to bring it up. Arya Nyong cried all morning. Then my voice went hoarse. Fainted at the entrance to the village. Was carried home. At night, I heard a familiar rustling sound. There is someone standing outside the window. I dare not watch this time. I was huddled under the covers. My heart was almost cracking. There was a faint chuckle in my ear. You will come to accompany me sooner or later. That voice is skinny. His voice was deep, with a weird huskiness, like an old whetstone rubbing against a stone. The next day, I told my grandmother. Grandma looks ugly. White lips. Hand shaking. Take my hand. Pulled me into the main room. He burned 3 incense sticks. Kowtowed 3 times in front of the incense burner. Talking words I don't understand. Burning incense halfway. And he sighed. This is life. And I looked at him with fear. I don't know when the tears flowed down. Grandma, why me? And he looked up at me. Complex eyes. Because you are small. The meat is tender, and I'm stunned. Stand still and dare not move. Skinny woman eats child. Not the first time. Grandma's voice was trembling. The children who died in the village earlier. It's all his food. I stared at the smoke rising from the incense burner. It's like a boulder in my heart. Out of breath. That night, I couldn't sleep anymore. It's windy outside. The shadow of the tree swayed on the window. Like a ghost hand. I bit the quilt. Body huddled. There was a creak outside the door in the middle of the night. Like someone pushed the door open. Footsteps sounded softly. Step by step closer to me. I hold my breath. Heartbeat almost stopped. The thin woman's voice came from outside the door. Yaume, come out and sit with me for a while. I couldn't move. Biting my lip.